Fan Network.
The ultimate on-demand destination for the UK's best fan-led football podcasts.
Want authentic supporter insight on all things Bournemouth? Follow Up the Cherries in all departments on the TalkSport Fan Network.
Club-dedicated content created by the fans, for the fans.
Search TalkSport Fan Network.
Hello, football fans, Bournemouth fans, Huddersfield fans, and welcome to another edition of the Transfer Show here on Up the Cherries in all departments and also on Huddersfield Fan TV. And of course, I can't mention Huddersfield Fan TV without bringing in my co-host. And let's speak to Ryan. Ryan, how you doing, buddy?
Hello, Matt. Yeah, hope you're well. And we're obviously ready to go and discuss some of these transfers that have been going and been very busy. So, doing as good as I can, and hope you're well, and everyone in the chat. Good evening to you all, and ready to get stuck into things this evening.
Yeah, excellent. And we have got a bumper packed amount to get through. So let's get started. And I suppose let's start with the Championship, which has actually been quite busy, Ryan, isn't it? The Championship. We've got two segments on the Championship for this show. And let's get started. So, Ryan, your first picks from the Championship then, buddy. So this one here, I think he's kind of been on the fringes of the Leicester squad for a little while, hasn't he? He hasn't been getting much game time, and now it looks like he's going to hopefully get some game time in the Championship.
Yeah, he's been in and out of the side, hasn't he, as challenging. Obviously, it's an interesting move. Obviously, another good player for Sheffield United to come in, obviously, on a loan deal until the season. Now, obviously, Chris Wilder has worked with Chowdhury for a short spell when he was at Watford. And, of course, there's that little bit of a connection there. And obviously a midfielder, quite a really good player, just hasn't had the minutes that he wants at Leicester. So, look, I think he'll do well. And I think he will be a good addition for them to try and get back to the Premier League. So, I'm intrigued to see how this one gets on, how he gets on, really, to be honest with you. Because I do think with consistent minutes, well, you would hope that he will get more game time at Sheffield United. They brought him in, so I think he will have more consistent minutes. So we need to see what happens. Yeah,
no, definitely, it'd be a good one to keep an eye on. Your next choice, yes, Louis Barry. He's sort of didn't he get recalled off his loan, and now he's been loaned back out again? Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. So obviously Louis Barry spent the first half of the season at Stockport on loan, and just set the league alight, really, in terms of how well he played. Obviously, 15 goals in 23 appearances for Stockport. He did that well that Aston Villa did recall him back in January at the start of the month, and wanted him to go to a higher level. Well, there were a bit of uncertainty of what he was going to do, but I think they were wanting him to go to a Championship club, so they've stepped him up to a Championship club now. A team in Hull that are struggling at the bottom of the table in the Championship, fighting relegation. So, if he can really get going for them, then it will be a big thing. And I think he will. And also, Aston Villa, I don't know if you saw, but Aston Villa also put him on another contract at Villa before sending him out on loan again. So, so look, he's 21 years of age, a very technical, very skillful player, really exciting player, really exciting young player. And, I think there was lots of interest from him, by the way. The likes of Leeds were interested, Sunderland, Derby, West Brom, Celtic were also interested as well. But obviously, Hull became the front runners, and they managed to get a loan deal for him. And it's been a lot. Obviously, he did get recalled at the start of the month, and obviously he's kind of been out for a few weeks. Obviously, not really ideal, is it? But they've managed to get something sorted for him. So Hull is the destination. I think he's a nice fit for him, to be honest with you, don't you think? Because it's a club that, fighting relegation, but I just think that creativity, that skill set, and Hull are struggling. So I think he's going to do very well in the Championship. We'll see what he's about in the Championship for the next few months.
Yeah, no, it definitely sounds like it's going to be a good test for him. Was he recalled because he wasn't getting the minutes, or what was the reason why he was recalled?
No, he wasn't recalled. As I said, because he'd done so well at Stockport in League One.
We
Before
want to test him at a higher level.
Before, well, we want to recall him and we want him to step up further now because he's done better than we expected. So then that's why they did that. Yeah, absolutely.
Makes absolute sense. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. No, so player from Wigan going to Luton on a permanent
another signing that really is interesting. Obviously, Asgard, a very good player for Wigan. Obviously, 22. He came through the ranks at Wigan this season. He's done very well as well, and scored plenty of goals. And yeah, obviously he's a very technically good player. Can create, can score goals as well. He can play as a 10, but he can also play as an 8 or on the left. So he's very versatile as well. And I think Luton are really obviously had a horrible season. Luton, haven't they? In the relegation zone now, and really struggling. And they've made a few signs, haven't they? Luton, haven't they? Last few weeks, but yeah, I think he's going to add something really special, and I think a player that is going to get goals and is going to contribute a lot for Luton for sure.
Definitely. Now this one has a lot of interest for obviously the Bournemouth fans. Mark Travers completing a loan deal to Middlesbrough.
Yeah.
For me, yeah, it's a bit of a strange one, really. I mean, I know the player needs minutes. He is a first-choice goalkeeper. But it's just a bit strange when considering we're doing so well in the league. We're still in the FA Cup. We've got Neto out on loan at Arsenal. We've got Kepa in. So it just seems to be a bit of a strange one that we've loaned out our second-choice keeper. But, yeah, Middlesbrough getting a very, very good goalkeeper, a solid goalkeeper, proven in the Championship, won the Golden Glove for Bournemouth during our promotion season when we returned to the Premier League. So, yeah, be interesting. I'll be keeping an eye on how he's going to do. But, yeah, Middlesbrough definitely got hold of a good goalkeeper there. That's no doubt. But we'll have some more sort of speculation on Bournemouth transfer rumours a little bit later on, but that's one deal that obviously was completed yesterday. Right, so Ryan, obviously there's so much to pack in. Should we have a look now very quickly at your League One transfers, the ones you've picked from that league?
Yeah, let's do it. Yes, obviously Don Ballard joining. Obviously, 19 years of age. He spent the first half of the season on loan with Blackpool, but he only scored 1 in 22 appearances for them. But still a very young player. So yeah, obviously Cambridge struggling for goals, found themselves in the relegation zone in League One as well. So it'd be interesting to see how he gets on really, because he's clearly got something about him, and yeah, he just didn't work out at Blackpool for him. He didn't get consistent minutes either. So they recalled him and they've sent him back out on loan to a team that he will be definitely getting regular minutes there because they're struggling for goals, and I think he will be consistently starting. So yeah.
Yeah, okay. Interesting choice, that one, actually. Don't know much about that player, to be quite honest with you. So yeah, it's quite interesting to hear that. Yes, this one caught my eye. A loan move.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, Cambridge have been busy. Obviously again, another striker alongside Ballard. So yeah, obviously Song's 20. He's obviously still very young. Obviously, he spent the first half of the season on loan at Rotherham as well. So lots of players have been on loan at other clubs before, but he only scored once in 10 games, but he only made 1 league start in that time as well. So he was recalled by Forest, and obviously then they were looking at options for him to go back out again to get regular minutes. And again, Cambridge is a good side to go with because they haven't got much quality in them attacking areas, as the table suggests. And so if he plays consistently, be interested to see how he gets on as well. You know, a young player as well, and I'll be looking closely and see what happens there.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I've got to say, I love the retro Cambridge kit there. It looks very retro.
Yeah.
I like that. Yes. So Rangers. So Kieran Dowell, Rangers to Birmingham on loan.
Yeah. So again, obviously, he actually came on the other night when Birmingham played Huddersfield, but he didn't actually start. So yeah, but he did come on. But yeah, obviously 27 years of age as midfielder. So he began his career at Everton. Went on loan to Nottingham Forest, Sheffield United, Derby County, and Wigan. But obviously also at Norwich as well. But yeah, obviously he's not been playing much for Rangers. Only started once all season. Made 16 appearances in total, but only started once. So yeah, obviously Birmingham had a few injuries in that area in the midfield, so they've kind of decided to look for somebody to come in, and yeah, I think it's a good move, a loan deal, like you say, and I think we'll see how he gets on, but I think he's a good little player, to be fair.
Yeah. So he came on the other night against you guys, did he?
Yeah, only for the final. I think it was final 10 minutes or something. Can't remember now. So cold. I was fed up that night anyway. So yeah.
I was going to say it wasn't the best of nights, was it?
No, well, it's not the best of times in general, to be fair, in terms of football. So yeah.
Yeah.
This is another interesting one. This because obviously Brighton really rate this youngster. Obviously 19 years of age. Obviously began his career at Southampton. Joined Brighton a year ago. Spent the first half of the campaign at Exeter. Scored 4 goals in a total of 24 appearances. But yeah, obviously they've decided to recall him and send him back out on loan again. But yeah, obviously he's a midfielder, and I think he's an exciting player. I think again Crawley, another team that are struggling down at the bottom, so in the relegation zone. So he will have that quality, but I think he will play consistently here. He didn't really get the consistency at Exeter. So yeah, good little play.
Excellent. And that concludes the League One picks for this one. Obviously, this is the last show before the transfer deadline day, when we'll be live on Monday evening from 9 p.m. We've got a few guests lined up that will be joining us, and we will stay live between 9 p.m. and 11 when the transfer window shuts. So, yeah, join us for that one if you can. But before then, we've got some more. We're going to finish off with the League Two picks before we go on and look at some Premier League transfer rumours and other bits and pieces, and then we'll round up with another look at some transfers from the Championship, because the Championship has been very, very busy. But so Ryan, League Two then, buddy.
Not much going on in League Two at the moment. A bit quiet, but yeah, obviously I managed to find a few. First one, obviously, Darragh Burns joining Grimsby from MK Dons, a midfielder for undisclosed fee. 22 years of age. Joined MK Dons in 2022. Played 24 times for them, but obviously he was on loan a few times as well. Obviously, Shamrock Rovers, he played as well for them as well. But yeah, he's agreed a contract with Grimsby until the summer of 2028. Obviously, I think Burns will really provide that strength and depth to the team in the wide positions. That's where he operates. Wide forward positions, and of course, very technically proficient, particularly in the final third. Excellent crossing, good delivery, and he has an eye for a goal as well. So, yeah, I think Grimsby are getting a good player, and like I say, he's only 22, so still quite young as well. So, yeah, that was my first pick anyway.
And again, another retro-looking Umbro shirt there, which Umbro must be doing a range of retro shirts for the lower league clubs because
Yeah.
none of the Premier League ones quite look like that from what I've seen. But yeah, fair play. Yes, Dylan Duffy then. So leaving Lincoln and heading to Chesterfield on loan.
Yeah, getting to the end of the season. So obviously dropping down a division into League Two. The Duffy, 22 years of age, made 13 appearances for Lincoln this campaign, obviously. So yeah, obviously he's going to be moving there, and obviously he's a winger. So again, I hope he would create some chances for Chesterfield, as Chesterfield are going through a bit of a barren spell at the moment. So they need some quality and the creativity kind of side of things. But so I think he will definitely, again, lots of exciting youngsters around, isn't there? But just, it's just about finding the best club for them, really, isn't it? And yeah, so I think he's a good little player, but we'll see how he gets on in League Two.
Yeah, definitely, mate. Sounds promising for Chesterfield. Right, Joe Wesley. Don't know much about this player, if anything, to be honest with you, buddy. So I'm relying totally on this one. But
yeah, I mean, this deal happened because there was not much going on in League Two at the moment. So this was from last week, but obviously I hadn't mentioned it last week, so I thought I'd just do it now, do it in this show. But he obviously is a striker. He's signed on loan till the end of the season. 20 years of age. Spent a month on loan at National League side Rochdale in October. Scored 3 times as well. So I think he's come through the ranks at Burnley through the academy. Obviously, he's yet to make a first appearance at Burnley, but obviously he's a very exciting player. And again, Swindon needing to add to those forward areas. And of course, I think he's an exciting player, but I just think he needs consistent minutes. And I think it's a good little loan for him to go out to League Two and play his game, and obviously, hopefully, have a successful time there. But yeah, they just need to add to that forward area, so they've looked to him. And like I say, a player that has come through the academy at Burnley, so but obviously hasn't made much game time yet for them. But yeah, so see how he gets on, but maybe he will get quite a few goals for Swindon to help them along the way.
Yeah, definitely be interested to see how he benefits from his time at Swindon. That concludes your League Two picks. So just before we move on to the Premier League, just a little bit of information about this transfer window. So transfer spending up on last year with 4 days to go. So the Premier League clubs have spent 247 million this month, up from last year's 90 million total, with a week left to go in the January transfer window. According to data from footballtransfers.com, Manchester City are responsible for more spending this month. They've spent about 125 million than the other 19 Premier League clubs combined. So with another, 7, but it's actually 4 days now left, the spending will likely rise, but is unlikely to get near the 2023 record of 815 million. Now, to be honest with you, I totally forgot that we even had a transfer window in January that got to sort of 800 odd million. But yeah, just a little bit of an interesting fact on how we're spending this year, because last January must have been absolutely dead if it was only that amount in the Premier League. But yeah, quick question for myself. What's your opinion on Philip Billing? On his day, quality player. Phil, quality player on his day. Very much a confidence player, but yeah, on top form, he's been a great asset for Bournemouth. Struggled to get into the team this season, and has now moved on to Napoli on loan, where I'm not too sure what his game time's been like. I think he was on the bench the other day and he didn't get on, so I don't know what his game time is like there. But yeah, on his day, he's a good player. But I think he's probably had his day at Bournemouth now. because with the attacking players that we've got, because we've moved him kind of into an attacking role, sort of behind Solanke, a lot for the first season back up in the Premier League, and now we've got players, like Clive at the play there, and deeper we've got Lewis Cook and we've got Ryan Chrissy, we've got Tyler Adams. It's hard for him to get into the team in any kind of sort of more forward position as well as a deep position. So, but yeah, he's been a good servant to Bournemouth, in fairness to the guy. And yeah, like I say, on his day, he's been quality for Bournemouth, and he scored some, crucial goals for us, and obviously set up Kiefer Moore for the winner against Nottingham Forest, which saw us promoted. So yeah, he's been a good servant to Bournemouth, and I just hope he gets some game time at Napoli. But yeah, just while we're on the Bournemouth subject, again, transfer rumours, are rife as always, and again, same old faces where Bournemouth are concerned. Again, in the news recently, there's been talk about Chelsea wanting to trigger Dean Howson's release clause. It becomes effective in this summer transfer window, but there's still transfer talk about Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, and even Juventus, who we brought him from, are interested in him. And yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see how this one develops. I think it's going to be quite tricky, maybe, for us to be able to keep our hands on this one. I think he needs to stay at Bournemouth for another few years and, develop, from Bournemouth's perspective. I think he'll be worth a lot more value in a few more years' time. But obviously, we know what agents are like, and money talks, doesn't it? So, yeah, again, his name is just sort of being mentioned every day, this one. And another name, again, now our old friend Eddie seems to be interested in Zabanier this week. So, yeah, it's no deal set to be, no approach set to happen this month, but they're talking about a possible potential deal in the summer. So, to be honest with you, the problem we've got at Bournemouth at the minute is that all our players are doing so well, and we are obviously playing and so well and proven to be, over excelling ourselves, that I think just about every player and also our manager seems to be touted by God knows how many clubs. So rumours aren't going to go away. But just while we're on the subject of before we get onto the subject of that, there's a couple more people in the chat. I love that name, Bin Chillin. That's great. That's
great.
I
know. Yeah, he's from it's from
that's great. That is. Go for another.
Yeah, well done. Well said, Craig. Yeah, well
done. Also, Ryan, what's your opinion on Pearson? What he's done recently?
Yeah, I covered this in my show the other day, mate. Obviously, by the way, Pearson in the game the other day was shushing the fans because they were constantly going back with this negative play that we're going through at the moment. So yeah, he did the shushing gesture to our fans, and that's what he's talking about. But yeah, I think he's a disgrace, so unprofessional, and yeah, he's not the first time he's done that to us before. And for me, if I had my way, he wouldn't be playing again for the club, because I think, and his contract's up at the end of the season anyway, and he shouldn't be signing for another, he shouldn't be re-signing. And yeah, he shouldn't play again this season, in my opinion, because that's just unacceptable, and Duff should stand his ground with this one. But yeah, I don't like to see stuff like that. I think it's disgusting.
Yeah, no, it's not good, mate. That's definitely not good. It's not what fans want to see, is it, really? And Spurs can do one. Well, that reference is about, all the rumours and
Areola.
Praise about Areola. If you could jump onto the channel, there's a show that myself and Craig did spontaneously the other night, where we spoke about all the different rumours in the press and how we basically made our point on how it would be a bad move for the manager, and he ain't going anywhere. He's not going anywhere anytime soon, but definitely not to Spurs. I don't think it would do his career any good. And I think he will probably see that as well. But yeah, just while we're on the subject of the Premier League, then let's have a look at the Premier League rumour mill. There's a couple that we're going to touch on there. But there's just another question for you, Ryan, in the chat there, buddy. Who do you think Town need to sign in defence?
Good question. I haven't really got any names to be honest at the moment. I just think we need somebody that is a real ball playing centre back, because in the back three that we play, I think we need that. And obviously Pearson and Lees aren't cutting it, so they're not ball playing defenders at all. So yeah, I don't have any names in mind, unfortunately, but I just know that we need somebody similar to Helic. Obviously, good height about him, great with his feet as well, and just a good defender, really. We just need some, but it doesn't look like we're going to, unfortunately, because that's what the owner seems to be thinking. But I think it's a disaster the way things have ended this window, for sure.
Yeah, sounds like you need a good old-fashioned centre back to go in there, not scared to stick his head on anything, and get rid of the ball, but a bit classy with his feet as well.
Yeah, just more fast with his feet, more find those passes better, just somebody like a Vic that we had before. But yeah, and the fact we haven't replaced him is ridiculous. By the way, I think he's absolutely just really poor. How we've let somebody go and not got a replacement lined up for him, and then just say, you know what, we'll be all right because we've got so and so that can play there, even though they're not centre back. So yeah, anyway, it is what it is. Nakayama was good. Yeah, I agree. And Matos, I like Matos in that midfield as well. Yeah, good point.
And I think that's referencing the Pearson.
Yeah, I haven't even bothered listening to anything, to be fair, because I'm just checked out already. I'm just tired of this season isn't going to end well at all, and that's how I feel about the situation. It's feel like a promotion season for me, and I think we're lucky that we're fourth. And to be honest with you, with the form that we've been showing lately, I'm diverting it, but the form we've been showing lately, I mean, if we carry on, we're not going to be in the playoffs. But yeah, who knows? But it's not good.
Let's stay positive. And I'm sure there's a long way to go. There's a long way to go. But should we have a little chat about some of these potential sort of rumours, and this one here. So obviously Arsenal have obviously officially approached Villa with a transfer fee, and it was rejected. Do you reckon he could be the answer for Arsenal? I mean, he is 29, so how many years are they going to realistically get out of him, sort of at a top level? Is it should Arsenal be in the market for a younger striker that's scoring goals, or do you reckon they need someone proven like Watkins to see him across the line and maybe win a trophy?
Yeah, no, I'm a big fan of Ollie Watkins. I think he's a good player. He's a goal scorer, but what he does overall as well as a striker, he does all the good. He links up play well. Makes those runs in behind. He's got the pace, and he's a good finisher as well. So yeah, absolutely, I think it would be a good move. But however, like Bing says, they have said they're not going to sell him anywhere this month. It'd be crazy to let him go at this point of the season. In the summer, potentially, but I think didn't Arsenal bid this? Make a bid just before Villa played last night. Before, and it was like a bit unsettling, and it's just like, well, it's a bit funny how they timed it like that. But for me, look, I think it would be a good fit for Arsenal, but I can't see this deal happening, especially in this window. They won't let him go.
No. Like I said, I totally agree with what you're saying there. I think it'd be crazy for Villa, and they will stick to their guns, I think, on this one, and definitely not. Yeah, well, that's funny that you bring that one up there, Joshua, because I think we will discuss that particular deal maybe later on towards the end of the show. This would be crazy from Villa's perspective. In Europe, doing well, and Duran supposedly falling out. Emery can't see it as he is key to Villa for the rest of the Champions League. Yeah, spot on. Ryan, that's one for you, mate.
No, it's not being it's not being covered, and that would be another crazy crazy transfer that happened.
Yeah,
I said it before, didn't I, on the last show. I think the fact you do not sell to a rival line, you don't sell to Chelsea, and you don't let him go at all. To be fair, because he's a young, exciting player and got so much potential. You should be getting rid of some of the other rubbish players in that squad rather than getting rid of somebody like Garnacho who has a lot of talent.
Yeah, no, absolutely agree with you, buddy. Well, doesn't look like this man be going anywhere then. So it looks like he's going to be staying at Villa. But keeping with the Villa kind of feel, this one, I'm not too sure what I think of this one, whether this is just paper talk or what in terms of Duran. But yeah, I think long term, I think Isaac is possibly a potential target for Arsenal in the summer, isn't it? I think that's I think that'd be their best solution. From my point of view, I think you stick Isaac in the Arsenal side, and that could make a massive, massive difference.
Yeah, no, I think we spoke about this with Josh the other week as well. Obviously Isak, I think definitely is the dream signing for Arsenal. I think he scores every time he gets a chance, doesn't he, Isak? He's just amazing, amazing player. And so yeah, I think that would be their dream type. But again, something that won't happen this month. And to be fair, you probably might want to stay in Newcastle as well, maybe, because it just depends, doesn't it? Or maybe because he's gonna have a big price tag, isn't he? In this, so just you can afford him, really.
Yeah, definitely. Before we look at the next one from the rumour mill, just very quickly, Ryan, another question for you.
Yeah, do I think Sol will get sold? Look, obviously, I don't believe that Hull have signed Louis Barry now, so I think they still want Sol, but I don't think kind of quieting down a little bit. I haven't heard anything since, but so 50-50, probably not. He probably will just stay at Nantes in France for the rest of the season, and then I still want him to go at the end of the season. I'm not sure what his contract is actually, to be fair, but that's my thoughts on that.
Yeah, no, definitely. It was reported on Sky Sports. You are correct. Obviously, we prepared some of these graphics. Well, I prepared some of them last night, and I think we will briefly touch on that. I think a little bit later on. I think there is a little segment there where we'll touch on that. Very quickly again.
Yeah, you think he'll go, but just not at the moment. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's also right. It's crazy at 21 years of age. The standard in Saudi is terrible, regardless of if he would play alongside Ronaldo. Yeah, very good point. I don't know why a 21-year-old would want to go there anyway. But just quickly, last one from the rumour mill. I'd like to get your thoughts on this one, Ryan, because I do rate. How do you pronounce this one? Rasmus
Hoyland.
Yeah. Hoyland. Yeah, I have been saying it right then. I think he's got a lot of potential.
He has, but if you watch United closely this season, he's been very poor. And I'm not just yes, he hasn't had the service, but I just think if you look at his game, his touches are so heavy. He's not holding the ball up well enough. He's not doing the things that he needs to be doing as a striker when it does go towards him, and seems to be lacking of confidence. Doesn't seem right at the moment. Look, I do like Hoyland, still young, but the reality is we signed this player for what is it? 70 million, and he's not living up to that billing at the moment. And so yeah, I don't think a lot of fans are not convinced about him, to be fair, at the moment. But yeah, like Josh said, he's looked very off it this season. So just one of those, really. I'm not surprised to hear this, but look, I don't know what to believe in the media really sometimes, but just think maybe you need to just, if you provide better service for him, then let's see what he can do. But I still do think he needs to be doing better. He's still kind of not doing enough at the moment.
Okay. Interesting to hear your thought on that one, because sometimes I just think he's starved of service sometimes.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Definitely service is an issue, but the problem is like I said, it's his hold up play when he's not holding the ball up at all. He's just not doing enough when he does get the ball, and yeah. But yeah, not enough service. Biggest issue.
Yeah, definitely. Just quickly before we move on, Doug, how you doing, buddy? Nice to see you in the chat. Thanks for joining us. And you're absolutely right. 2 of the most informed teams are on show at the Vitality this weekend, and may the best team win. Yeah, it's going to be a great game. I'm not fearing playing Liverpool. We've been in excellent form, so we need to fear nobody. But I think it's going to definitely be a great game of football. So if you're a neutral, I'm sure you'll enjoy it. But if you're a Liverpool Bournemouth fan, I'm sure you enjoy it, but you'll enjoy it even more if the result goes your way. But yeah, cheers, Doug. Nice to see you as always. I think another one for you, Ryan.
What's happened to Adolfo? That was a silly question. Well, because we've got more bodies back now, obviously more players back from injury, he just isn't required, and he's that was simply a panic buy last summer, wasn't it? So yeah, it's proving to be a disaster like I thought it would when he first came in. I thought it was a ridiculous, pointless signing, and yeah, he's an awful footballer. We've seen what he's done this season. He's just been horrendous when he has been in the squad, just nothing. So yeah, he's one that I wouldn't miss if he doesn't ever play for us again, to be honest with you. He can go and look somewhere else for another club, because he's not going to upgrade us at all, is he? So yeah, he's just not being selected, basically.
And I'm assuming that's...
Yeah, he's in the B team. Yeah, I think he has been playing a few little minutes in the B team. So yeah, that's where he is at the moment,
Yeah. Sorry, missed that one first. Yep. So yeah, we are going. That's absolutely right. We are going into the game full of confidence, and so is Doug. And yeah, it's strange it's not on TV. I think they've missed out on that one. But yeah, I'm sure everybody will be eagerly watching that one on highlights and things like that. But and yeah, it is crazy that we don't fear the best team in the league. We don't need to fear anybody at the minute. The form Bournemouth are on. Just sort of, I think this one's touching on kind of what we were just talking about. Has he looked better than him?
Well, I think he might have looked mildly better, but not much better. Let's be honest. The strikers at United are just not doing enough. They're just poor. Just haven't got that focal point at the top. And Amrin's already touched upon that anyway. They haven't got they are not doing, in this system that he plays, the strikers the most. But obviously, had Gyökeres at Sporting, a real focal point that does a lot of good things. We haven't got that United, so yeah, Amorim spoke about it, but he hasn't looked that much better. He might have looked mildly better than Haaland, but not much. That's my opinion. Yeah.
Well, that's fair. That's a fair opinion, mate. Well, thanks everybody with the comments tonight. There's lots of comments coming through. We do appreciate your comments. Please give us a smash on the likes and subscribe to the channels if you haven't already. But yeah, it's great to see everybody in the chat. Yeah, just go through some of these comments very quickly. Hog, will you retire at the end of the season, Ryan?
Well, his legs are certainly going now, so I wouldn't be surprised if he does kind of call it a day, maybe at the end of the season. If not this end of this season, I think it might be next season. But yeah, he's coming to the end of his career, unfortunately.
your surname.
Yeah, I don't know. This guy puts this in my chat as well. Just move past it. I don't know what he's on about.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I don't mean massively better than him, but a bit better.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Okay. And
yeah, his attitude. He's had numerous chances at us, and he's just not. He thinks he's bigger than the club basically. So yeah, he's not wanted back here. Absolutely not.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we will get round to some more comments as soon as we can, but we are going to try and plough through the last section because obviously we're just doing a short sort of roundup show before we do our live transfer deadline day show on Monday evening. So that will start at 9 o'clock. We'll see it all the way through to the end of the transfer window. Craig from the Cherries in all departments will be joining us. He will be giving us and keeping updated with all the latest news as it breaks, while me and Brian talk with our guests about different transfers from this window, and obviously we'll discuss any transfers that break that Craig brings us during the show. But something that has sort of broke this evening involving Spurs, but not only Spurs, there's a few other clubs that are interested as well. But it's said that Spurs have now looked into a permanent transfer for a striker. Ryan, I would try and pronounce the name. Not gonna lie, probably will get it wrong. If you got any idea? I know the player, but I just can't pronounce the name.
Matthias Tell.
That's it. That's how you were saying it on Sky. Yeah, Matthias Tell. That's it. Yeah. Obviously, Spurs in need of a striker. They need some reinforcements up front. Obviously, their season ain't going great. Rickardson's come back from injury, but at times it takes a little bit of time, doesn't it, to get a bit of form going again. Good signing for Spurs, or is he more suited to some of the other clubs that are rumoured to be interested? I mean, look at it from United's perspective, maybe.
Yeah, no, I don't know if he's a striker. I think he's a winger, isn't he? But
Winger, is it?
I think he plays on the wing. Yeah, he's still a young player. I believe that Aston Villa have put their name in the hat as well for him as well. But I think his price tag is very high. I don't think Spurs will get him personally. I think he will. Man United may, but again, obviously the transfer budget at the moment, you just don't know. I think this potentially could be a loan deal and a permanent end of the season, or if they want obviously a permanent deal now, then you'll be paying a lot more. But yeah. So, do I think Spurs will get him? No, I don't. I think other teams in that list there are probably more likely to get him. Yeah.
Okay. A transfer that completed today. So, Amron leaves Newcastle, heads to Atlanta. I think that's where Newcastle signed him from, actually, wasn't it? I think. Maybe I'm wrong. But yeah, 8 million deal with 3 million in potential add-ons, but obviously not played much at Newcastle this season. He's obviously been a great servant for Newcastle. He's done well under Eddie since Eddie come in there, but obviously he's surplus to requirements now and moves on to Atalanta in the MLS. One that's quite surprising, and again, Saudi clubs linked with him, but Mitoma at Brighton. They've rejected a bid of £54 million for him. I think he's an absolute class player, and I rate him really highly. And again, I think why would Brighton want to let him go anyway? And why would he want to go and play in the Saudi league at his age? When he's got so much still to offer in the Premier League. I mean, every time Bournemouth play against Brighton, he's the player that I really pay a lot of attention to because I just think he's absolutely class on that wing.
Yeah, absolutely. It's such a I like watching players in neutral as well. To be fair, when he's playing, he's a really exciting player. He's not worth 54 million. He's worth more than that, in my opinion. And plus, like you said, any player of that age is still. How old is Mitoma? I think he's fairly young, isn't he? Still.
He said, is he like 27 or something like that?
Oh, is he? He's not as young as I thought. Yeah,
was 25. Do you know what? I did read it, Ryan, but for the life of me, it's gone out. If anybody in the chat, anybody on here I know Joshua normally pops up and lets
Yeah,
us know.
Joshua knows everything, doesn't he? Yeah.
Yeah,
But yeah,
Joshua, please let us know how old Matoma is, because but like you say, Ryan, I think he, you know, if I was a Brighton fan, I'd be wanting to definitely keep hold of him.
Yeah. You know, at the end of the day, it isn't a move that will benefit the player. It will only benefit the salary of the player. There's nothing more to it, I'm afraid.
No, you're right. Yeah,
The reality is I'm sick and tired of these Saudi Arabian clubs coming after all these players, right? And I just think you're not thinking about the
27.
27, yeah. Yeah, so look, Saudi Arabia, no. It's a waste of talent going there. I'm sorry. It's a waste of talent, his age, going there.
Yeah, definitely agree. Thank you, Malcolm, for that. Letting us know how old he is. That's cheers for that. Nice to see you in the chat. Yeah, well, let's see. You know, there's still 4 days to go. Who knows what's going to happen? But Brentford defender Mads Rosvel. I can't even read.
Rosler.
Yeah. I think he's in their sort of B team, I think, and he's been on the fringes of their first team, but he's signed a loan deal with Wolfsburg until the end of the season. Yeah, this one, he went back. He actually played against Bournemouth in the FA Cup. I think he's a defender, isn't he? Yeah, defender. And he's gone back to Wycombe Taylor. I think he was having a good spell at Wycombe, wasn't he? And I think they were a bit disappointed he was recalled or his loan come to an end or something, but he's now gone back there.
Yeah, no. I must admit, I don't really know much about this deal, but yeah, I'm not too sure. But look, obviously Wycombe, I think they lost one of the defenders, so obviously they've got him in now. So yeah, look, but he looks a powerful defender, doesn't he? So I don't know.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, yeah. I do remember when he played against us that it was said that he'd just come back off a loan spell from Wycombe. Yeah, here's another name that's sort of within the rumour mill. Obviously, our name is obviously still being bantered around with his name, but now there's a few other clubs as well. You know, West Ham, Arsenal, which I think must be just linked to every single striker that's sort of being talked about. Bayer Leverkusen are now interested in him. So this one, I think before the transfer window ends, I think there is going to be some movement here. But I believe he's carrying a bit of an injury as well. So I don't know if that's sort of why clubs haven't gone in for him, sort of, you know, like in terms of like any sort of solid kind of deal. But yeah, I think this one a little bit like some of the deals that we've spoken about over the last few weeks. I think it's going to go down probably to the wire on this one.
Yeah, I agree.
Beckham's still in the Brentford B team. No, I believe he quit football to take up modelling. I think it was Romeo Beckham, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was Romeo. Yeah.
Yeah, good stuff to have you join. Yeah, definitely, Malcolm. Great to have you join us. It's pleasure to have you in the chat.
But yeah, what I will say, Ferguson obviously is he kind of came onto the scene, didn't he? Did well at the start, but he's kind of fizzled out, hasn't he? Obviously, he's still got talent, but doesn't get a look in, does he, at Brighton? And obviously, I know he's injured, but yeah, he's been very quiet for a long time, hasn't he? But he's clearly got talent, but yeah, so like you say, I do maybe think it will be a last-minute decision, but if he's injured, then nobody will want him anyway, will they, at this point? Yeah, Keith, you're right. Get on our treatment table because everybody else is injured at the moment. So yeah, I agree.
Well, yeah, I think this one is destined to sort of carry on until probably the end of the window. Yeah, so Sheffield United is really signing some players at the minute, isn't they, right? Now, I think they are determined to have a big enough squad and a lot of depth to make sure they're seen across that line for promotion again. Solid defender, this one. And he's signed on loan until the end of the season, so that's going to give him a boost.
Yeah, they're making some clever signs out of Sheffield United, and obviously, like you say, you know, really making sure they do get in them they don't want to just get promoted. They want to be in the automatic places, which they currently are at the moment in second place. But it's very tight up there. Obviously, only 3 points separating second and fourth. So second to fourth. So yeah, no, I think he's a good player. And again, Sheffield United are very busy and making sure that they've got quality and depth there.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. No, definitely. I totally agree with you. They are being clever. They've done some clever signings, haven't they, over this transfer window? And that's extremely important when you're chasing promotion. Like when Bournemouth were, when under Scott Parker, we made, I think it was 7 signings during the transfer window in January. And of course, that's what sees you across the line, isn't it? Having a good squad to pick from. Colchester United have cancelled the contract of forward Tom Hopper, who has signed for National League club Southend United. Neymar, his contract was terminated recently, and he's set to head back to Brazil with Santos, apparently. And we've discussed that already. We've discussed that one. Santos is set to sign 19-year-old Brazilian striker David Washington on loan from Chelsea. So that's one to keep an eye on. Apparently, he's a bit of a wonder kid. So, again, the future of this man is still cropping up every day. If Doug's still in the chat, I'm sure he'll have something to say on this one. But most likely destination for Mohamed Salah is Saudi club, Saudi Pro League, Al Hilal. Is that how we pronounce it?
Yeah, Al Hilal.
Yeah. So sorry for my pronunciation there, but that's where he looks destined to go. And obviously we've covered a few of these ones as well. Manchester City want a straight loan deal if they are to land Douglas Luiz from Juventus this month and hold interest in teammate Andrea Cambasia
from there. Yeah,
that's it. With a view towards the summer. That'd be an interesting one to see how that one sort of develops on. Yes, so Anthony can soon have a teammate joining him on loan at Real Betis. Thoughts on this one, Ryan?
Yeah, obviously, Malacia has only just come back from an injury. It's not the best. But I don't really think we can afford to keep loaning players out. Obviously, there is that talk of that Dorgu coming in, who is actually same position as Malacia. From where's he from now? An Italian club, but he's supposed to be coming in, but the medical's been delayed until the weekend. Something Dorgu, if you know who he is.
No, name doesn't.
From I'm gonna Google it quickly, but as I'm kind of going off topic, but look, Malacia obviously needs minutes. He's not going to get that at United at the moment. Like I say, potential new signing coming in as well to put him further down the pecking order. So, it makes sense, I guess.
Yeah, and this was also another one that we had on the rumour mill. I believe he only signed in the summer, and now it looks like he might be off again.
What a waste of money. Why have they signed him if you're not going to play him?
Yeah, I mean, as he's settled in there, I don't think I've really even seen him on the pitch for West Ham, to be honest with you. But then again, I might have done, but he's obviously gone unnoticed. But that one for me is a bit of a strange one that, he's only just signed. I think if this is any truth in this and he does move on, I think he's probably not settled at the club potentially. But if anybody knows any different in the chat, please let us know. Former Arsenal striker Tom set for a move back to England with quite a few Premier League clubs interested apparently on this one. So it'd be interesting to see how that develops over the next 4 days or so. And that brings that round up to a close. We've got one more segment before we round up the show. But
player that I was on about. Yeah, he plays for Lecce,
That's
which
him.
is
That's him.
Italy. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Cheers for that, Malcolm. Much appreciated.
We're not going to get into that. We will cover a transfer show thing on, but obviously we're just kind of rounding up the deal at the moment. But yeah, we can talk about that on my streams. But yeah, I think it's not been the best, has it? I'll just put it simply like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, not been the best. Rubbish.
And that's going to be a stream on the channel soon, is it, Ryan?
Yeah, probably going to round up our transfer business when the window closes and kind of do like a little video about that. So yeah, we can discuss that then.
Excellent. Okay. Well, thanks to everybody that's in the chat. Much appreciated. Please give us a like and a subscribe to both channels if you could. Be much appreciated by both Up the Cherries and Huddersfield Town Fan TV. So Ryan, let's just do one last roundup of the championship, because obviously there's been lots of deals there just before we go. So with this one then, a good signing here for Derby. Matt Clark, permanent transfer for an undisclosed fee from Middlesbrough.
Yeah, I did have some. Yeah, it's obviously the centre back.
Yeah,
28 years of age. So he's obviously been at Derby before, but he's joined again. Derby have lost one of their centre backs, Curtis Nelson, to injury. So they needed to bolster the numbers in that department. So yeah, obviously he was at Derby between 2019 and 2021. So yeah, a bit of experience. They need numbers at the back. So yeah, looks like it's going to be a good deal for them, and maybe he'll play well. Yeah.
It sounds like to me that they're bringing in a bit of experience that's going to obviously be a big asset for Derby. I've got a funny feeling. Hasn't this guy played for Luton before?
Hasn't Naismith played for Luton before? I can't remember.
I think he has. I might be wrong.
Cool.
Yeah, and you, Malcolm. Hope you enjoy the game. Hope we get the results. Thanks for joining us. Don't forget, we will be live again on Monday evening at 9:00, where we're going to round up all the transfer news and all the latest deals. And yeah, keep your eyes peeled on the channel and Up the Cherries in all departments. There's always videos coming out, and tomorrow our latest cherry picking podcast will be out. So yeah, thanks for joining us, Malcolm. Great to have you in the chat. Yes, he has. I think, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has. Yeah, he has. He was with them between. He left them in 21-22 season. So yeah, he's been there before.
Yeah, he has been there before.
And he's 32 years of age. He's a centre back, and experience. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, cheers, Malcolm. Well, there's something going on with Umbro and these sort of retro-looking shirts. I mean, look at the retro-looking badge there on that Luton Town shirt. I mean, that's just. Sorry, if anybody knows me, I'm mad on football shirts. Not that I wear other teams' football shirts. I've just got a huge collection of Bournemouth ones. But I do like to see a good football shirt. But that's going off subject. Moving on. This one here, Ryan, I think this was quite a coup for Cardiff, signing in on loan.
Absolutely. A player from Ajax, obviously. Yeah. I'm just going to get up my informations. Yeah, this guy is obviously a midfielder, 22. Like I said, not really had much game time this season because of injury. So yeah, Ajax have decided to loan him out to Cardiff, who are currently embroiled in a relegation battle in the Championship. So yeah, obviously, again, someone to add to that midfield. He looks a really tall player as well, doesn't he? Looks quite a tall player. Yes. A bit of physicality there. And obviously, he cost Ajax $5 million in 2023. So, he's on loan this season. If he can stay fit, I think it might be able to be a move that gets his career back on track, maybe after a few injury issues for a long time. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely. definitely. This one. Now, he's reportedly cost Pompey, Hayden Matthews, 1.26 million. Now, I read, I might be wrong, but I read somewhere that apparently this is quite a high transfer fee for that league.
Well, Portsmouth are in the Championship, aren't they, at the moment?
As in, not, sorry, yeah. No, that's my fault. As in the Australian league.
Oh, the Australian league, yeah.
That is quite a high transfer for the Australian league.
Yeah, no.
Apparently, 1.26 million is quite a big fee.
Yeah, he's obviously a defender. This guy as well. Yeah. He's only 20.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I read that they've been monitoring him for quite some time, and they were looking at him during the summer, and didn't feel it was the right time to make the move then, and have now made the move and got the deal done and got him in a Pompey shirt. So
yeah, he's the most expensive defender in Australian football. Yeah.
I knew it was something like that. I knew it was something like that. I read.
But this guy is a player that is obviously a really promising young centre back, obviously, and he's 6'5", so a very tall lad. But he's also very mobile, apparently. So yeah, real physicality, calm and composed on the ball with his feet. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see how he gets on with Portsmouth and what role he'll play from now until the season. But it's not always easy, is it? Just into a new country and a new league. So it might take him a bit of time. Plus, he's only young as well. So, but yeah, let's see how he does. Let's see if he gets into the first team. Yeah,
definitely looks like a good investment. And that concludes the roundup of Ryan's picks from the Championship. And that concludes our show for tonight. Thank you to everybody in the chat. Everybody that's been watching. Myself and Ryan do enjoy getting together and working on these transfer shows. Of course, it's our last transfer show before the transfer deadline day, so we will be back on Monday night at 9 o'clock with the transfer deadline day show, where we will stay live until the close of the window, and then for probably sort of 15 to 20 minutes after. And we will cover off as many of the transfers as possible. We'll have Craig in the background who will be keeping us updated and will come in live to update us with any breaking news throughout the evening. And we will be joined by some guests from other channels as well. Jose from El Cockerel TV has already been confirmed. Hopefully we're having Uncle Rod's as well joining us. We'll have Joe from Tranmere TV joining us, and there's potentially other guests as well. If there's anyone that's been in the chat that wants to potentially join us, then keep a eye on the socials, and we will put the link on Monday evening into the chat. And if people want to come on and join us, we'll try and get as many people in as we can. But yeah, excellent. Thank you very much for joining us. Ryan, who have you got at the weekend?
Northampton. We're doing the preview show tomorrow night. So yeah, can't say I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, see you later, Bing, and thank you for joining us. As always, everybody else in the chat, thank you very much indeed.
Definitely. And yeah, so all that there is to say for myself and Ryan is hopefully see you Monday, and we'll update you with any transfers between now and then. And then, like we say, during the show, Craig will be keeping us up to date with any breaking transfers, and we'll be joined by several guests. So, yeah, please join us then. But from me and Ryan for now, thank you very much for joining us, and we will see you again soon. Cheerio.
Sport Fan Network.
the ultimate on-demand destination for the UK's best fan-led football podcasts.
Want authentic supporter insight on all things Bournemouth? Follow Up the Cherries in all departments on the TalkSport Fan Network.
Club-dedicated content created by the fans, for the fans.
Search TalkSport Fan Network.